Hare Shankara Jai Jai Shankara, 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 Hare Shankara Jai Jai Shankara.
If the mind once forgets its own object, it goes out and out, just as a ball if it falls, rolls down and down the stairs, and does not stop till it reaches the lowest step. Reference: Vivekachoodamani verse 325.
Remember your goal of attaining self-realization. Do you forget to take food? No. Do you forget to wear clothes? No. Do you forget to take a bath? No. Do you forget to watch movies? No. Similarly, remember the goal that needs to be attained. Describing the hardships that approach us on forgetting the goal, Sri Acharya says, if the mind once forgets its own object, it goes out and out and out. It goes out and out and out just as a ball if it falls, rolls down and down and down the stairs and does not stop until it reaches the lowest step. Therefore, if you forget your very goal and your very nature, that is, the self, if you lose the yearning to attain God, the remembrance of God, and thereby the purpose of achieving God, Sri Acharya describes the hardships that descend upon you. Sri Acharya says, suppose the ball in your hand slips down, it will not stay here. Where will it go? It searches for the slope and moves down towards it. Thus, it searches for the slope and moves down but does not remain still in the place where it initially fell. Similarly, once you forget your goal of attaining God realization, eternal bliss, eternal peace, and the ideal of achieving self-knowledge, you will degrade in every birth, in every year, and on every day and attain the darker worlds resembling a ball that falls from the hands and moves down towards the slope. Look at the water. Suppose you pour down water, and it does not stay still. It searches for the slope and travels down towards it. The same is the case even with a ball. You cannot stop the ball. Once you lose the yearning to attain the supreme, the self, the divine, you will not know where it will lead you. You will deteriorate in this very birth. Therefore Sri Acharya says, it goes, rolls down and down and down and does not stop until it reaches the lowest and lowest step. Sri Acharya implies that when you forget your goal of self-realization, your life will degrade more in the forthcoming births and further in the births thereafter. Your journey will not stop until you get entirely spoiled. Thus you keep falling on forgetting your goal.
Once you think of objects of the senses, you want to enjoy them, and from that comes desire. Unfortunately, that desire engages you to possess, and that engagement takes you away from your real self. Reference Vivekachoodamani, verse 326.
As thoughts multiply, the ego also increases and vice versa. If you contemplate worldly things, the ego will grow. If you reflect upon self or God, the ego will subdue. The sun gives equal light to the good as well as the bad. However, everyone makes use of that light as per their nature. Suppose you water an orange, banyan, and apple tree. Despite watering them, all three trees will yield different fruit. The orange tree will yield oranges only, and the apple tree will produce apples only, not other fruits. Though the water is the same, the fruit is generated based on the seed. Similarly, you act according to your nature after arriving in this world. Though God bestows the same amount of opportunities upon everyone, the same amount of light upon everyone, what are they doing? Everyone acts according to their habits and tendencies. Do you understand this? What does it mean? The Sun God is bestowing the same amount of light upon everyone. Some people utilize light for good purposes, and others for evil purposes. The Sun God is not asking the good people to do good and the bad people to do evil. They are acting according to their tendencies. There is no mistake made by Sun God here. The same is the case even with God. God resembles a big rain. Several seedlings keep sprouting out according to their nature. Suppose there is a tube light. Some people utilize it for the sake of playing cards, and some other people for reading the Gita. However, the tube light does not dictate that they play cards or read the Gita. Therefore, they play cards or read the Gita according to their tendencies. They are in no way related to the tube light. Similarly, God is in no way concerned with your merit or demerit.
Therefore, if you work to attain the grace of God, God will bestow you with the thinking faculty that will facilitate the achievement of Him. Remember this forever. Whether you speak any word with your mouth, do any work with your hands, or think any thought with your mind, your goal should be to please God. As and when God is pleased, He will bestow you with good thinking faculty. Therefore, you should work to please God.
You may think that you are capable enough to do something. But everything happens according to the will of God. What one needs to understand is this. Strive for your entire life and digest this single sentence. The first teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramana is, the entire jivas act according to the dictate of God. Whatever is to happen will certainly happen. You are not the doer. God makes you act according to your body's destiny. If you understand this, your entire sorrow will subdue, and you will experience the bliss. You should grasp this point. I am not the doer. God alone is the doer. You can do nothing. The ego cannot do anything because it is powerless, and the real power belongs to God.
What will happen without contemplating the self and God if you start reflecting upon sensory objects? You would like to enjoy them. After getting the thought, you would desire to enjoy the objects relating to that thought. Without getting the thought, you will not need enjoyment. Therefore, only those who constantly contemplate sensory objects will get the desire to enjoy them. Your mind will become introverted if you meditate upon self or God without reflecting on sensory objects. What does it imply? It implies that you will eliminate the bhoga buddhi, or the desire to enjoy sensory objects, and attain yoga buddhi, the desire to reach God. When your contemplation upon sensory objects increases, your bhoga buddhi will also increase. Along the same lines, as your contemplation upon God or self increases, your yoga buddhi also increases. Then, you will become a yogi.
Therefore, Sri Acharya says, enjoy them, and from that comes desire. How do you get the desire? Initially, you contemplate sensory objects. You will feel a particular sensory object to be good within your mind. Then you start contemplating upon it. After contemplating it, you will get the desire to attain it. Without contemplating it, you cannot get the desire to attain it. Sit down calmly at your home. You will be reminded of something or the other. You will get the desire to attain it. Without remembering it, without getting a thought to earn it, you will not even get the desire to achieve it. You will get the urge to acquire it only after remembering and contemplating it. If you do not reflect upon it, you will not even get the thought of attaining it. Once you get the bhoga buddhi, once you get the desire to enjoy the sensory objects with your senses, the desire to earn more and more money keeps increasing within you. Whatever you see, you feel like attaining it.
But who is the seer? It is the jiva. What is being seen? It is nature. Therefore, jiva watches the world through his senses. As long as the jiva remains intact, you keep on taking rebirth. Whatever you see is as much false as the seer. Then why are you taking birth again and again? It is because nature does not get destroyed as long as the mind doesn't get annihilated. The mind does not die when the body dies. The mind remains intact. Therefore, what does the mind need? It needs a body. The mind emerges from the heart, and the body emerges from the mind. A bodiless person is devoid of the world, and a mindless person is devoid of the body.
Here, you need to understand this. Only the body dies. The mind does not die with the death of the body. It remains intact. The mind will again get the body according to its nature. After getting the body, it will regain the world. Remember this. As long as the tendencies relating to jiva exist, one cannot stop getting a rebirth. Rebirth, which becomes inevitable, may be good or bad. A good birth represents a good dream, and a bad birth represents a bad dream. Both of them represent dreams only. However, a dream will not chase you after waking up. Similarly, births and deaths, all the matters of nature, and all the matters about the waking state will not pursue you after attaining self-realization.
That desire engages you to possess, and that engagement takes you away from your real self. Then what will you do? Today, you enjoy a particular pleasure. Tomorrow, you will feel like enjoying some other amusement. An American writer said thus, "How do some people enjoy the pleasures? They eat a mango. They first drink mango juice. Some pulp is left within the mango's nut. They consume even that pulp. They keep licking the mango's nut, thinking some juice is left over. The juice gets finished. They lick the mango's nut to such an extent that it becomes completely white or clean and attains the stature of a dress that is neatly pressed by an iron box. Only then will the mango nut be thrown away." Similarly, some people neither contemplate God nor the self. They keep enjoying the sensual pleasures. They keep on licking nature and ultimately die.
Even death is of two types. If one is very careful about their food habits, they will die peacefully. Otherwise, they not only trouble themselves but also trouble their family members before their death. Death is inevitable for those who take care of their food habits and those who don't. But those who are careful about their food habits die without causing any suffering to others as well as without undergoing any suffering. However, those who are negligent about their food habits suffer greatly. Their body also experiences suffering. They ultimately die only after subjecting their family members to too much torture.
Who am I? Who is that jiva? The bhakti, jnana, japa, meditation, worship, etc. prevail only when the jiva exists. For whom is the japa, meditation, or bhakti when the jiva doesn't exist? The disease exists only when one possesses a body. How can the disease prevail when there is no body? Spiritual practices are needed only when one has the tendencies of a jiva. Why does one require spiritual practices when there are no tendencies? Only the sick need the medicine. Why do healthy ones need medication? Tyagaraja said, O Rama, O Sri Rama, when one is entirely devoid of bad habits and evil tendencies by birth, why do they need any japa, tapas, mantra, or tantra? Why do they need any spiritual practices?
Some people enjoy getting praised. Even it is a type of boga buddhi. To get ruined, one need not possess 100 bad habits. One bad habit is enough to get destroyed. A single hole is sufficient to leak all the water within a pot. It need not possess 100 holes. Similarly, one bad tendency or bad habit is enough to get ruined. Sri Acharya wants to convey that, as long as you possess this boga buddhi to enjoy, as long as you consider enjoyment alone as your very goal, you will get distanced away from your very nature, that is, the self, and from the truth within. As long as you possess the boga buddhi, you get carried away in the vicious cycle of birth and death. No one can protect you then.
Recently, a Mahatma revealed a secret. If one can attain self-knowledge by merely reading books, everyone would have become a jnani by now. However, one cannot attain self-knowledge without possessing the grace of a Mahatma, a Sadguru, an incarnation, or a good-hearted person. What can these books do? The Holy Company, the grace and the love of an incarnation, a jnani, a good-hearted person, or a person with good tendencies can only bring self-knowledge. Is self-knowledge attainable by merely learning a few books by heart? Don't get carried away by such illusions.
Bhagavan Ramana has said the same. A chunk of meat trapped in the mouth of a tiger can never escape. Similarly, you will attain self-knowledge only when subject to a Mahatma's grace, love, and compassion, but not merely through your chatting, discussion, or book reading. Self-knowledge resembles a lamp. You can use an existing lamp to lighten another lamp. Similarly, with the holy company of a jnani, you can get enlightened through his knowledge or lighten your lamp using his lamp. Books cannot enlighten you. As long as you possess boga buddhi, you will be distanced from the truth.
Externally, you are fine. You may be well honored, like garlanded or taken out in processions. However, you keep ruining at the source. Ensure that you will not get ruined at the source. These honors and dishonors are as much true as this body is true. Though the names, forms, attributes, and colors differ, the truth within everyone's heart is the same. Only those who realize this truth of oneness will become a jnani, be liberated, and merge with God.
Let me tell you a small secret. Don't reveal it to anyone. Your family may consist of several people. You may be viewing their bodies daily. When you view their body, you realize that you are not their body. For example, suppose you are seeing your husband's body. You know that his body is different from yours. Is anyone here who would like to say that their husband's body and their body are the same? No. Though he represents your husband, his body is different from yours. As you are clear that your husband's body does not belong to you, you will get liberated in this very birth if you realize that your body also does not belong to you.
Bhagavan Ramana possessed a body, and even we have a body. Bhagavan Ramana used to take food, and even we are taking food. Then how is Bhagavan Ramana different from us? Bhagavan Ramana had the same feeling towards his body that you get while wearing a shirt. That's the only difference. Whose shirt is it? You call it mine but never declare yourselves to be the shirt. Similarly, a jnani presumes that the body belongs to him. As you have clarity in the heart of your hearts that the shirt belongs to you and you are not the shirt, even a jnani is clear in presuming that the body belongs to him and he is not the body.